Welcome back to the channel. Shout out to the Lapeef Network. Came across one of their panels. It was really good. And the topic of discussion was men being bitter for having an opinion about women. There was a guy who was, of course, objective about a lot of the ugly things that we see with modern dating nowadays. And the women attacked him on the panel, and it was nothing but ad hominems, of course. No logic to their arguments whatsoever. And I want to analyze every bit of it because this is the way a lot of women are handling these discussions. And y'all know I've hit my wits end. Hit the subscribe button, also hit the notification bell. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's not waste 1 minute.
Story, and y'all understand where he's coming from?
Yeah. I've had plenty of situations where I've heard a man's story of their, interpretation of what happened for certain events, and I understood. Say it again, Will. I'm sorry.
When he's not talking like a woman.
And he's not talking like a woman. And he's not talking like a woman. I can still understand his perspective. Yes.
So you understand that these women out here be on some ain't business?
Yeah. There are some women that be on ain't shit business. Yeah. What you say, Will? You muted yourself. Some. Yeah, I'm going to say some. I'm going to say some because I won't say that all women are like that. No, I know women that aren't.
You trying to say a lot of us trifling as hell. That's what you trying to say.
There are some.
I think you look at Jamie's situation. Hold on, I'll be right back. Hold on, sorry.
Yeah, you don't know.
Okay. Yeah,
he get ready.
Right.
So if I tell you the name of the person, are you gonna do something?
I don't need that name. I want the backstory because you was so bitter and salty, and I wanted to know the backstory behind that.
Whoa. Bitter.
Well, see, I can't really get into this with you right now because my baby gonna keep screaming. I'm kind of on daddy duty, but so you say who hurt me. So if I give you the name, are you gonna go defend my honor?
I said I don't need the name. I just want the backstory.
Well, you didn't ask for the story. You said who.
That's why I'm clarifying what I meant by who. I don't need their name.
Also,
I just want the story.
Can you rephrase the question then so I can understand what you're asking me?
What's the backstory behind why you come across so bitter and salty?
Can you tell me what I say that's bitter so I can understand how to address it? It's not necessarily
specific thing you said.
And I'm listening. Go ahead.
And I want you to not like pick it apart with the semantics because I saw you were doing that too. I just wanted to know, your energy gives bitter and salty, period. Like it ain't even a specific phrase.
Phrase the question then so I can understand what you're asking me.
What's the backstory behind why you come across so bitter and salty?
Can you tell me what I say that's bitter so I can understand how to address it? It's not
necessarily specific thing you said.
And I'm listening. Go ahead.
And I want you to not like pick it apart with the semantics because I saw you were doing that too. I just wanted to know, your energy gives bitter and salty, period. Like it ain't even a specific phrase.
My energy gives bitter? Explain. I hear what you're saying, but I don't understand what you're saying. So I want to respond to it, but I got to understand what you're asking me first.
Well, Will, I don't know. You seem like a mature man. I mean, with the thing about energy, it can't be explained with words. It's a feeling. So if you don't know what I'm saying, or you can't even put the mirror or the microscope up to yourself to see how you may come across like that, then it's really nothing. There's no words I can use to get this across to you because you're gonna say you don't understand.
Well, can you use one of your counterparts and they can maybe help me understand?
No, I was just asking what's the backstory, or why do you think you may come across as bitter? If you're saying you have no clue, then we can let it go, Will. It's not a big deal.
I think Will is very direct, and it might come across as angry and bitter at times when he says certain things to you, but I think Will is very direct. He's very to the point. He's not for the BS. And so that could come across like it's given bitter, it's given angry black man.
I agree with her. And now we're getting somewhere because just to be honest with black women or just modern Western women, because this isn't always just a black woman issue, just to be honest with women in today's day is considered an awful thing. Like to just speak honestly to a woman, like to say that you prefer a fit woman, or to say that you don't care about a woman's money. I never thought in a million years these would be considered attacks or misogynistic statements, but I guess they are. Let's get back into it.
came at my neck many a times. We didn't had a lot of conversations.
Yeah, he'll definitely come at your neck.
I
But
had a lot of conversations.
I've never disrespected you. Have I, Jamie?
I work, so I understand human behavior. I know very well how to name emotions. But it's not assertiveness that I'm picking up on. I use the exact word that I meant. If y'all
you use the exact words that you meant, but you can't articulate what you're asking.
You're trying to act as if you're being scientific, but you aren't saying shit. So nobody has any reason to take what you're saying serious because you're not formulating anything of structure like that we can actually like go with. Nothing tangible. It's just like, I got a feeling you're bitter. That's it. Believe me. See how that just sounds crazy just by itself like that? Or maybe not. Let's get back into it.
That is the energy you give.
Well, hold on, ma'am. I mean, you say it's energy, right? Can you be reading energy wrong? Is that possible?
I highly doubt it.
Women are always trying to be the narcissist police, and they always think that they can call out what a narcissist is, but they can't ever admit fault, or they can't find flaw in themselves, or they think that they're the perfect judge of character, which is absurd thinking. Let's get back into the clip.
Is it possible?
Right, though, you do have an experience that gave you a bad taste in your mouth when dealing with women.
That's not true.
Let's pause for a second, because even if he had a bad experience at a particular time in his life with a relationship or a bad situation with a woman, that doesn't mean that he's bitter in this particular conversation or in conversations about dating and relationship. And if you make a statement like that, how are you going to be able to back it up? You can't just say it and then just say, adopt that. Just adopt this statement that I made about your life. Deem it to be true with nothing to go off of.
With your ex-wife and why you would never get married again.
They own your
ass. Entire situation it was terrible for you. With your ex-wife.
What are you talking about?
We talked about this a minute ago on Lil Peep's show. You talked about your ex-wife and how the person you're with now, you guys will never get married, but you do everything you're supposed to do for that woman. And the reason why you wouldn't go down that road again is because of the situation that you went through with your ex-wife. See, come on now, Will. I remember stories.
Okay, now let's see what we got at this point. At one particular time, he described that he went through a divorce. I don't see how this leads to him being bitter right now, currently, or in other times where he's having conversations about dating and relationships by default, because at one point he told a story about being divorced. But let's continue.
Just beginning.
No, you're talking to me.
I know Trev had said something, but okay, go Will. Go Will. I don't know.
You're talking to me. What was the situation that you're speaking about? It was so terrible.
The situation with your ex-wife, your divorce.
What was the situation?
Didn't you say like the whole situation of the divorce itself was terrible for you?
Man, my divorce was so smooth. I don't know what you're talking about.
Will, you fully went into this and why you would never get married again.
Into it, just give me paraphrase. Give me something.
What a video is.
I can't remember all of the details, but
no,
I remember
not all of them. Give me one detail.
What a video is.
You just said that the situation was bad and the reason why you won't get married again now.
Let's stop there. She said, you talked about my marriage and that's the reason why you'll never get married again. Maybe that's just learning from your mistakes. How does that equate to bitterness? Let's continue.
But you're not articulating a detail. You're just trying to.
Because I don't remember all the details.
He sounds smart. Where's the video at? So I'm gonna look at it myself.
I don't know the exact video. Smart. This was a while ago, Dr. Lady O. This before
Dr. Lady O, did you say I'm trying to sound smart?
Yeah.
Okay, help me understand something. If a person comes up here and makes a claim and they can't articulate their claim.
I'm confused, Lady O. The sister didn't present any sort of rational argument. She just made a blanket statement by saying that he was bitter. He asked her to articulate in a real way how that's to be true and didn't add anything extra to it. And you say that he's trying to sound smart? I don't really know why you said that. At this point of the conversation, I got confused to why the black women on the panel turned on him and nobody could really back up what they were saying. But let's get back into it.
I'm supposed to give them what they're looking for?
I mean,
I'm just talking about.
But you don't remember when you talked about your experience with your ex-wife. So you didn't have a bad experience with your ex-wife. That didn't put a bad taste in your mouth.
Everybody has bad experiences with everybody in relationships.
Didn't put a bad taste in your mouth to the point where you don't want to get married again?
I told you no. My marriage was not bad. I don't know what you're talking about.
Was it the wrong person?
I wish I could find a video.
I mean, anytime something ended, elaborate when I don't know what they're talking about. If I told her, listen, if I said something, if I said something on the World Wide Web, I have no problem saying it.
All I'm saying, Ray, is he did.
No, you're probably hallucinating. He doesn't remember.
What I was asking, to be clear, you also think he's bitter and salty.
No, I don't necessarily feel like he's bitter and salty, but when I first, from that show, I knew he had a place of hurt and he explained it and it made sense to me, right?
Oh, so you just think he's traumatized.
Now, since then, I understand he's a very direct person, and because of his experiences, now, you know, he might be in a great experience, which he has talked about. He's in a great experience. It works for them. But he did have a situation that didn't work, and it did put a bad taste in his mouth when it came to women specifically. That's all. I don't think he's bitter and hurt. I think he's human just like everybody else. When you have a bad experience, sometimes those things can guide how you feel in the conversation and the tone of certain conversations when you're triggered by certain things.
So you're saying he's not bitter, but you're describing a bitter person.
I'm saying that's the energy that Ray probably picked up on.
That's all. What you said, you're describing a bitter person. You're describing a bitter person. You're saying he's not bitter, but you're describing him as bitter and salty.
And traumatized.
I agree with him, because you're saying you did get in a relationship where you said it put a bad taste in your mouth. What does that got to do with anything? Because who hasn't been in a relationship that put a bad taste in his mouth or her mouth? How does that automatically equate to that person in that hypothetical scenario being bitter? That's all I'm saying. That's all the man in question is saying. And Trey Smooth. Let's get back into it.
Ray, do you think he's bitter?
Where that's coming from.
I already said that in the beginning.
Yeah,
so
she was clear.
She did. She started off
and salty.
Right. So I'm not gonna keep. If he's saying he don't know where that's coming from, then maybe he's
well, for the record, I've seen Will's situation up front. The man is doing very well. He's got a beautiful woman, beautiful family. If you saw it the way I saw it, you wouldn't even try to identify it. The bitter wouldn't even be in your vocabulary if you saw what I saw. Just for the record.
Shout out to Darwin. Not just for being on that side of the conversation, but being an expert at running these panels. I love when we bring real evidence into a conversation about someone else's character in question, because now we have real life evidence. Darwin has seen this man up close in person, said that he's a family man. And a lot of you women have a lot of things to say about us, reaction channels, people who do RP content, all different forms of men advocacy. But you don't know that in our personal life, we've dedicated most of our life to children and our families and a Black woman. And you guys assume to think that you know something about our relationships with our mothers and sexualities, and it's really just a very lazy deflection in a conversation you're not qualified to have. Let's get back into it.
Okay.
So let me just address something real fast. Like this one dude that got a whole lot to say, I was defending Will. I don't know why anybody is talking about y'all like Ty gave me all this love and support and we coming for Will. Nobody's coming for Will. Ray asked him a question. Ty was trying to reiterate that question. And I particularly said, I've had a lot of interactions.
They came for Will. Hell no.
I've had a lot of
They didn't come for me.
Jamie, you didn't.
Hey, watch this. Watch this.
No, because that's my bro. I love Will.
That's you, but Ray ain't playing with Will tonight.
Me and Jamie have had multiple conversations. There've been some tough conversations. I gave her my perspective on some things. I gave her some advice. I've always told her she doesn't have to take my advice, do what she wants with the information. But I've never disrespected Jamie. I've listened to Jamie. I heard her story. I understand her story through and through. I tell her when I think she on BS. But at the same time, Jamie and I have a rapport where if I was rude and disrespectful and pompous with her, she wouldn't come back and have conversations with me. And this is spanning over a year now. So I'm confused how women come to these conclusions.
I'll tell you how they come to the conclusion. It's to derail the conversation. It's to dismiss the conversation. It's to get us focused on other details than the details that bring women into accountability or a call to correction. Let's get back into it.
Hold on, baby. I asked this lady, Ms. Ray, how does she detect bitterness? And she just say energy. She can't articulate anything.
Yeah, like, what can we do with that? You're not a wizard.
Will, can I ask you a question? First of all, do you have a babysitter before we get started? Because I don't want to be interrupted.
Now, was that even appropriate? He had already mentioned prior that he's handling children at the moment. He still took the time to address your stupid question, and now you're telling him that he needs to get a babysitter because you don't want to be interrupted. You haven't even articulated a good point yet in this discussion, and you're acting like you need the path cleared for you to be able to speak.
I'll talk with the baby in a second. Go ahead.
She don't take baths, she takes showers.
You weird, buddy.
What is going on right now? First, we're just making blatant statements that don't have any logic behind it. Now you're asking this man how he bathes his child. Who do you think you are? What makes you think that you're moral authority over him to where you get to ask him these sort of intrusive questions because you find his character questionable, or because you're bringing him into a question? Now all of a sudden you get to ask all these weird ass questions. What is happening right now? Let's get back into it.
I know she soak. Like, I like to soak, but some girls, they just rinse off.
Damn, one of them nights.
Hey, on your ass. Y'all, I'm telling y'all poking the hornet's nest right now with this.
And
this
Will ain't
particular
playing with
guy.
you tonight.
Hey, now when I unleash
some
things, I don't want nobody to say nothing.
Exactly, because you brought up this man's kids. Now, if he were to actually be who you think that he is, and we actually get in our malicious bag and we start to talk about personal things, and we start to go personal, and we start to go into the dozens and go into your failures or your ugly wig or whatever the case may be, then all of a sudden he's going to be a misogynist and all these other things. I know where it would go. And what I don't like about black women, sometimes you guys bait these situations. You bait them. You guys bring a man into the question and say, I think you hate black women. And then you antagonize and antagonize and antagonize until he's in some form that's reflective of the point you were trying to make, so that you knew what you were talking about when he eventually loses it. But he only lost it because you antagonized him. Let's get back into it.
On me tonight.
Oh my God.
Will, but for real, I was gonna ask you, were you ever married? Have you ever been married?
I have.
So are you still married, or?
I'm not.
So, can I ask why you got a divorce from your former spouse?
I didn't
court.
Divorce her. She divorced me.
Well, why are y'all divorced? That's a better question.
You gotta ask her.
Don't you have to tell the judge if the divorce was the reason?
No,
you ladies
no
know
fault.
Irreconcilable differences.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, divorces are public record. You can look it up.
I'm asking the person that I'm
And
on
I'm asking.
He said irreconcilable differences, and that is a very vague term. And since 80% of the divorces are initiated by women, you better believe somewhere in that 80%, some of those men were sitting there wondering what the hell happened to their family. Why do you think that men unalive themselves at a higher rate? Get back into it.
If I can ask you,
Well, people
seem
have
to
a
be
tendency to
respectable.
look me up on the internet for some strange reason.
But it's me. I'm not people. I'm talking to you. I'm real.
Right, but I answered you first, and then I told you can look it up.
Why come every time someone asks you a direct question, you try to divert them away?
Ma'am, I
from
gave you a
asking
direct
getting out
answer.
of
You
horse's
asked me a
mouth?
question. I gave you a direct answer.
I don't know.
Do you know? Did you hear my answer?
So maybe this speaks to why you may be bitter, because you're really oblivious as to why your wife divorced you.
Okay. Maybe I'm oblivious. So what now?
That's on you, babe. You got.
Because if he's oblivious to why his woman left him, that does not equate to him being bitter. He still got you.
Gotcha.
Oh, I know. But this is your claim. This is your point, right? You're bringing it up.
Well, I was trying to ask you why you were divorced. You're going to keep saying you don't know. You're going to play the I don't know game so you can have it. You don't know.
I answered you. Did y'all not hear my answer?
You said irreconcilable differences, but what does that mean?
I knew what it meant. I would have answered it for you. I told you I don't know.
That's what I just said. You don't know, but it's cool, Will. I'm not going to keep having a circular argument.
I'm sorry. It's some.
In Alabama, I believe they just recently changed the divorce laws. I believe it was the custody laws, to where now when you divorce a woman or a woman divorces you, or just the situation ends in a divorce, it's automatic joint custody, automatically 50-50 custody. And that made the divorce rate immediately drop, which proves that women leave marriages simply because there's some sort of financial incentive, or they know that they'll gain control of the children without the man by default in the court support system. But when you remove those rules, they sit put. So those stats alone prove that some men were sitting happily in their families, and then women decided that because they could get some money or because they would be able to have a life without their children and still be able to get financial support from the husband even outside of the marriage, they take that route. So again, who's to say he's not that guy? Let's get back into it.
They ask you a question and your answer is, I don't know. And then they say, well, what is the reason on the court documents? And you give them the reason on the court documents. And then they press more like, so you don't know? Ma'am, if I knew, I would have told you. I wouldn't have said what the reason was on the court documents.
Will, I said if you don't know, we can let it go. I can't make you know something you don't know. I get it.
No, I'm curious. I'm curious as to why you're interested. That's all.
I don't know. We about to play the I don't know game. I don't know now. I don't know shit either.
Okay, well, enough said.
Will, did you ever ask your ex?
So in response to you saying that he's not being clear enough about his response, you decide to mirror him and say you don't know also. I think you're doing that because you never had any intention on bringing logic behind that statement. You were just making a quick and cheap attempt at discrediting him so that everything that he had to say would go under the gaze of him being bitter.
Like
he don't know
why she left you or how you could have been a better spouse to her.
Absolutely.
Now he's in counseling.
And what did she say?
Oh, selfish shit. Like people always say. People say what they want, right? We all gonna tell somebody what they can do to be better for us. And it usually entails something that benefits us and not them.
Look at Lady O. Look at the body language of the panel.
Not necessarily. Like me and Dr. Lady O just talked about when we asked ex-spouses what we could have done to be a better partner or what were things that were problems that they felt we should work on. We realized that, those are things that we can actually work on that not only would benefit us in that relationship, but benefit us in general, right? Like in life and growing as a person. So I don't think people necessarily come from a selfish place when they're giving you a critique of how you could be better overall.
Right. Well, your question was, hey, Will, did you ever ask her how you...
Yeah, that was never the premise, was how can Will be better overall? See how we're moving the goalposts? That was never what it was about. The question was, is he bitter? And does he bring a bitter energy into the conversation? And we had a lot of opinions, including female opinions, who said that that wasn't true. So
could have been better not better as
I said better as a partner. I did.
Yes, not better as a person, right? So if Darwin and I go into business together and I need Darwin to do certain things and he doesn't do those things. And so we decide to sever our business relationship. If Darwin do an exit interview with me and be like, hey, bro, how could I have been a better business partner? I'm going to tell him things that is going to help me because I was complaining about X, Y, and Z. Now, if he was doing his job, the right way, I probably will still complain because I may want him to do it the way I want him to do it. See, this is what tends to happen in relationships a lot of times. People don't look at you as a complete person. What they do is, here's you. You're a complete person. You're 100% meter. 80% of you are good, and 20% of you are bad. Let me be a little bit more honest. 70% of what you do is good. 30% of what you do could use some work. Over time, see, that 70% was good enough to marry. But over time, when your focus is all on the 30% that they're doing wrong, that person becomes 100% bad in your eyes. You don't remember all the reasons why you wanted to be with that person. You don't remember all the reasons why you forsake all others. You don't remember why you decide to have kids with that person and build a life with that person. All of a sudden now, you can't stand this, you can't stand that. It's a laundry list of things, but if you pan out, if you look at
the bigger picture,
it's a really small piece of what you're focusing on. But because you're laser focused on that piece, all you see is the negativity. You can't remember why you fell in love with this person. That tends to happen to men and women alike.
Oh, yes, I agree. That's definitely self, right? Now, I mean you, I mean the other person. That means if you and I are together and I married you on this 70, and all of a sudden now I'm looking at the 30, I'm saying it's a self. That means that's a me thing. because now I'm focusing on the 30%. Why am I so focused on the 30% when I married you with the 70%?
And the 80% divorce rate reflects it. Because if women are pulling the trigger on divorces at an 8 out of 10 rate, what does that say? That means that the reasons are usually up in the sky in their imagination. There is no way all those are all just ending in chaos, some sort of like DV, or there's just by the numbers alone, there's no way that they all could end in bad circumstances. Let's get back into it.
Notice all the good things. All I wanted to do was focus on the bad things. Maybe I was looking for an out because there were some things I wanted to do in life that I didn't get a chance to do. And I'm looking at this situation I'm in, and I'm like, damn, I got to find an out. A lot of times people don't have a good reason to leave a person they're with, so they'll self-sabotage a relationship because
especially when there's financial incentive to do so. Let's continue.
They have things they want to experience. They have things they want to explore. We don't talk about that. We always talk about it as if the person who left the other person, if person A leaves person B, we talk about it as if person B was just doing some things that was inconceivable, like things that they just should definitely change. It's like, why are you doing these things? Why? Who is this person you become? As if the person who's doing all the complaining ain't changed, ain't forsaken the other person, haven't fell short of their duties and responsibilities. We tend to talk about it as if person A stops doing what they're supposed to do, it's in response to person B not doing what they're supposed to do. We always talk from a victim perspective. Why don't y'all use, and when I say y'all, I'm not just talking about the ladies, but why don't y'all use that self-righteousness and hold yourself to task and tell people how you effed up your relationship?
Which is something women never do.
So, it's never one-sided. Being a person who was married, being a person that did the long-term relationship for 13 plus years, it's never one. It's rarely one-sided. I'm talking about rarely. I don't care if you allowed it. It is it's usually something. And I'm just gonna be honest.
I got a question for Ms. Ray. Hey, Ms. Ray, are you married?
Well, we're not. I don't know.
That famous question.
I don't know. I don't know. I do not know.
Well, you trying to mirror him isn't intellectual, because that's a far more direct question than are you bitter? Because are you bitter requires a lot more elaboration than the question that he asked. So you're trying to be intellectual right now, but really you're just being juvenile.
You're about to get hot up in here.
Hold on.
You're about to get hot up in here.
If you don't answer that question, Ray, because then
hold on, Ray.
Let me say something, Dr. Lady. Hold up. I don't engage with people on the panel. They want to ask me, they want to interrogate me, but then when you ask them questions, they talk in circles and they don't know.
Ooh.
I don't know either.
He said irreconcilable differences. And he gave a very clear definition of how a person could get divorced and be thinking that everything was all good, which means no bitterness. You just got divorced. But that wasn't good enough for her. So she's going to just go ahead and chalk it up that he's playing a game. Interesting.
Oh.
So Ray, whenever I hear women take on that behavior of mirroring the negligence of the person that they're dealing with, usually and I'm gonna just ask this question: if he cheat, you gonna cheat too, huh?
You said I'm doing what?
Yeah,
mirroring what, Darwin?
Mirroring what you don't like.
Yeah, for real, child.
I'm mirroring him in general. It's not even that I don't like it or.
No, what I'm saying, like, if a man.
Wait, Darwin, 1 second, Darwin. Let's ask the panel. Do y'all think I was answering her questions, or do y'all think I was dancing?
You were evading, yeah.
We're talking to the panel.
I don't think you were dancing around the question. I think you were answering it directly as how you felt in the moment. Like, I don't know what happened in the marriage because she left me. I didn't leave her. So yeah. I feel like you kind of was answering it, but you didn't have.
Yeah, like, let's just say he disagreed with the divorce. Let's say he contested, right? Like a lot of men do. Like, there are often scenarios where a woman wants to file for divorce and the guy doesn't want to sign the papers, right? So just inherently, that situation says something. It says that the woman might want to leave, but the guy might have a different idea in mind. So is he bitter? This hypothetical man, not this guy, but the hypothetical guy we're talking about right now. Is he bitter? I would say he isn't. I would say he's a man who wants to keep his family together, and a woman wants to divorce him. Get back into it.
Answer. So you're kind of like, well, if you find out the answers, let me know, because I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out.
I feel like you could have gone into more context and you just decided not to.
Was I supposed to answer the question, or was I supposed to give context?
Now we're getting somewhere. She said he could have went into context, but he decided not to. I knew that you were with old girl because you were being very intrusive and nosy as well in your lining of question. But why wasn't his original answer good enough? I probably think that it's because you and the other woman believe that every man who gets divorced, he was at fault, which speaks to why these conversations are important, because there's awful, ugly bitterness happening with women where women actually believe that a lot of black men are inherently violent. You believe we're inherently dangerous. You believe that we're more likely to just cheat and be promiscuous than other men. That's bitterness. The fact that no matter what this guy says, you guys have this random suspicion about everything that he has to say. I would say that that is more signifying of bitterness.
The question, you could add on context for more
No.
understanding.
The question was I supposed to answer the question or give context?
You were supposed to answer the question.
Did I do that?
But yes, you did answer
okay,
the
that's
question.
I'm only asking, did I answer
given...
her? I only asked, did I answer her questions?
You answered her questions, but it did feel like
I'm confused as to why you're saying I had an obligation to do more.
You said you feel like he was dancing around it. He said that he didn't know. This is almost reminiscent of like conversations between religious people and non-religious people. Religious people assume to know their perspective. They assume to be conclusive, and they have a problem with people who are not conclusive. Not that they're sure that these people are wrong over here with this argument on this side, but simply that they don't know. A non-religious person isn't convinced that there's no supernatural deity controlling everything. They're not thinking about it. They personally don't know and don't care. And that sends to upset the person on that side of the conversation. The same way this woman is ticked off, because again, she's upset that the rational answer in his particular context is that he doesn't know why he got divorced, which is very typical for men who are being divorced in scenarios where the woman is choosing herself for selfish reasons, like he mentioned, or personal reasons, or a disagreement with the way things are done that often contradict the original agreement, which actually puts the woman in question, if anything. But let's get back into it.
We always got an obligation to do more on this panel. Context is always necessary to understand the full picture.
Should she answer my questions, Ty?
I mean,
my answer is I don't know.
Now it's vague. Now if she should answer a question, it's up in the air. So you women are showing clear bias on this panel, but calling him bitter. This is excellent.
If it's okay for you to say, I don't know.
Y'all should answer each other questions.
We don't know, girl. We don't know tonight. We don't know shit.
So,
when
Ty,
she said,
I had
an
obligation to do more, but you can't even say she had an obligation to answer my question.
I did
without
say she
me
should.
Back into the equation.
Well, I just said she should.
No, you said both of y'all. That's what you said.
Because when she asked you why y'all got a divorce, you said you didn't know, but you did.
Is that an answer, Ty?
But you did know, though.
This shit is getting
That's
circular.
not an
Does
answer
anybody remember what the topic was?
Do y'all?
He said that he got in a divorce, and the divorce put a bad taste in his mouth about women. And he said that he doesn't know why he got divorced. Imagine being in a relationship that you think is healthy, and you think everything is good, and you're doing your part, you're protecting, you're providing, you're showing up, you're not committing any forms of DV, you're faithful, and then all of a sudden your partner wants to get divorced. That would put a bitter taste in your mouth about women, would it not? Let's get back into it.
Did y'all figure out why he got a divorce with all these questions?
He don't know.
Yeah,
we let
she
it go.
decided
He
to
don't
leave
know
because she was unhappy in the situation. That's what I'm saying. He could have told us she decided that she wanted to only focus on his negatives, and she decided to leave. It wasn't his choice. And she told the court it was irreconcilable differences. But the truth is that she probably had, other things she wanted to accomplish and go after. She was focusing on his 30% of negativity or whatever she didn't like about him, instead of the 70% that made her marry him in the first place. That's what I got from the whole conversation. But instead of him saying all of that, and I understand you don't have to, but that's the answer to the question. Is it not? Or is that, I'm like, I don't know.
No, I listen, I'm not gonna disagree. And just so y'all know on the record, y'all saw how whenever y'all know how we be pressing y'all and stuff. You see how we got out the way when y'all was pressing him. So y'all can't never say that y'all always caping and defending the men. So we let y'all have ass at him. Don't ever say we don't do
Hey,
that.
stay out of the chat, Ray. Stay out of the chat. We don't need to know what's going on.
I lost my voice. They do need to know, the people, because they said I sound like Gangsta Boo.
Because you was hollering at your man.
I mean, I don't think they're talking about the sound. I think they're talking about your words.
Oh, they want me to use the correct English, no AAVE on this show, huh? Okay.
All right. So Miss Ty, come on now. Why are y'all so difficult? Like, if a person asks me a question, and if it's typically a yes or no response, I can say yes, no, or I don't know. Are those three responses appropriate?
Here we go. Yes, if it's a yes or no question. Her question wasn't a yes or no question. Her question was, why did you guys get divorced? That question alone requires an actual response, not yes or no, right? You can't say, why did you get divorced? Yes. Why did you get divorced? No. You know what I mean?
But I don't know is appropriate, is it not?
It is, but you did know, Will. That's what I'm saying.
So,
wait.
I'm sorry. Irreconcilable differences, that's knowing?
No, you saying that when you talked to her, I asked you, did you ever talk to her about it? And you said yes, but people can focus on just the negatives. So what we got from that is that she focused on your 30% of negatives instead of the positives that got you with her. And that's why you ended up getting a divorce. That's why she ended up divorcing you.
What are you talking about? Didn't we get with each other?
I'm saying that's why she ended up divorcing you. That was the question.
Listen, I think y'all don't understand that people make bad decisions to get married at times, and they make bad decisions to get divorced. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so sometimes people are stupid and they divorce people thinking that the grass is greener. Do you agree?
I agree.
So when a person divorces, so person A divorces person B,
okay,
solely because they think the grass is greener.
Okay.
Does that mean person A did anything wrong?
No, I'm not saying you did anything wrong. Is anything that I'm saying you did something wrong?
I'm not worried about, listen, I know you're not saying that. I'm not saying you're trying to put a jacket on me or anything. What I'm saying is sometimes people legitimately don't know an answer to a question. And if they tell you they don't know, then they don't know.
And that's it. The problem with this whole entire discussion is that you all didn't respect his answer. That's not his problem. And I want to go further. It speaks to something. I don't want to call it bitterness, but I think it speaks to a natural skepticism that Black women have of everything that comes out of a Black man's mouth. I think it speaks to a layer of distrust that Black women have reserved for Black men before we've even said hello, before you even know who we are. The reason why it seems other ethnicities of men get a more graceful side of yourself, and then when you come back to us, you twist your face back up. The same thing. Yet, the conversation that started all of this was, is he bitter? But to be honest, all I saw was a few people on this panel that actually displayed that they're pretty biased and bitter for just assuming that his answer of I don't know was dishonest, and that he couldn't have been one of the many men who have found themselves divorced and confused and baffled that their woman wants to break up their family and they thought everything was good. Hit the subscribe button, also the notification bell, so you're notified every single time we post content just like this. I'll see you guys on the next one.